Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Better Future Conversations with your host Mike Sylvester, aka the Financial Jet Li. My friends, as always, I am super excited to continue this journey with you, this journey to a better financial place. In this week's video, I want to talk to you about a very special topic entitled In Matters of Love and Money. But before I jump into the details of this week's video, I want to take this opportunity once again to say how immensely grateful I am for the outpouring of support for this channel. I want to thank you for your likes, I want to thank you for your views, I want to thank you for your subscription, and to generally thank you for supporting the growth and development of this channel, of this very important channel. My friends, I want to also thank you for getting copies of my book, The Grenadian Dream, A Roadmap to a Better Economic and Financial Future. So if you have not subscribed, if you have not liked, if you have not gotten copies of the book, I will encourage you to do so. Do not hesitate. In fact, what I'm going to do for you in this week's video is to offer you a limited time special offer. So you can now get a copy of The Grenadian Dream for only $5 US. So you can get it on my website, www.betterfutureconversations.com. You can get it using your credit card, your debit card, you can get it using your PayPal account. So my friends, don't hesitate. Get your copy today and become financially empowered. So now to jump into this week's video, as I said, I want to be talking to you about love and money. When you hear love and money, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? You've heard the expression, money is the root of all evil, and that if you like money or you're pursuing money, that you are being greedy, or you are being a money hung, as we say back home. My friends, I want to let you know that I do not subscribe to this. I think that is foolishness, that is hogwash, that is just a ploy to keep you poor and vulnerable, There is nothing wrong with loving money. In fact, if you have money, you can support your family, you can help your friends, you can make a difference in this world, you can help others. So, don't let anyone try to influence you into thinking that pursuing money is a bad thing or that something is wrong with you. But I want to talk to you about money from the perspective of relationships. So if you are married, if you are divorced, if you are thinking about getting married, you're thinking about starting a relationship, you're in a home and you have kids, this video will interest you. So I want you to stay to the end to get these important lessons. And the first lesson I want to talk to you about is that if you're already in a relationship, you're already married, and you're sharing expenses and so on, that you need to have the money conversation. And if you reference one of the videos I talked about before, I mentioned that as being one of the biggest money mistakes that could be costing you thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, a lot of people go through life or go through relationships without having that conversation. And what you can have is a situation where one person is a spender, so that person likes extravagant things, they like expensive things. So when they go to the restaurant, they want to get the most expensive item on the menu. They want to get the most expensive shoes, the most expensive watches, just about everything that is top of line. And nothing is wrong with wanting nice things, but of course you have to be thinking about within the context of the entire home and your expenses and so on, and also your future. And then you could have another partner, for instance, who is provident, the person is prudent, they want to save for the future, and they might have very good reasons. For instance, you might have small kids and you want to prepare for their education, so you want to put something aside, for when they are ready to attend university and so on. Or you may just want to basically save for a rainy day or put aside something for when you retire and so on. But if you have a situation where in that very same relationship you have those opposing goals, there is a shared vision for the future when it comes to financial matters, then you could have a serious problem. And you could have a situation where, for instance, these two goals clash, and invariably what you would have is irreconcilable differences, and that people may have to part ways and so on, and you have divorce. I'm sure you know that money problems is one of the most common reason or cause for divorce. It's up there with others. If it's not at the top, and that is not just in Grenada or in the US, this is basically worldwide. So my friends, that is the first point I want to make. You need to have the money conversation with your family. Sit down and talk about aligning financial goals. The second point is also related, but it's when you thinking about getting into a relationship, if you're not already married, or if you just, you see somebody that you like and you want to start something, it is important to have the money conversation before you jump into the relationship. You don't want to be between a rock and a very hard place, because when you're there now, you're trying to see how you can get out, where you could have easily avoided that situation by, first of all, following first principles, which is having that conversation before you get into that relationship. So that's the second point. Have the conversation before you start a relationship. The third point I want to address, getting your kids involved ASAP. As soon as possible. My friends, do not wait. In financial matters, time is your friend. The more time you have, the more time you have for your monies to grow. The more time you have, you can correct financial mistakes. You can't wait when you're in your late 40s and so on. So my friends, start your kids now. This is not something that is too difficult. This is something that they can comprehend. My book has a lot of tips, a lot of strategies that you can use to help your kids become more financially savvy. One of the things I would recommend, for instance, is that you open bank accounts for them at a very early age, that you give them a stipend, and monitor the management of the stipend, for instance, ensure that they put aside part of it. When they make buying decisions, for instance, you explain the implications of those buying decisions. For example, what does it mean, for instance, if you buy X? How does it affect your ability to buy Y, and so on and so forth? So my friends, you need to have those kinds of conversations with your kids at a very early age. So that is number 3. Number 4, AllRelated, is perhaps a very controversial topic based on what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think it is important. You can have a situation where, for instance, you have one breadwinner in the house. So you might have the man or the husband or the boyfriend who's working, and the woman, for instance, is at home taking care of the kids. And you have situations where you have very large families, and sometimes you tend to downplay that role, but trust me, that is a very important role, and it's a very difficult job. I sometimes, when I have to spend time with the kids alone, it's rough, because it's quite a bit that you have to do, and I always have to be on your P's and Q's, and you can imagine someone having to have that responsibility for the whole day. It probably could be quite a tasking one. So my friends, you could have a situation where the man will go to work, get his pay, and by the time he gets home, he's broke. Why? Because he stopped by the bar, or he's out lying with friends, and he spend all, or he decided to go by the gambling parlor, and by the time he gets home, as I said, he has nothing, and he would have neglected all the responsibilities at home. So, for instance, his food, clothing, shelter, medical care, kids have needs. They have to go to school, they have to get books and school supplies and so on, and he can't afford these things because he would have spent all his money on idleness, on foolishness. You understand? And so that, my friend, cannot be acceptable. That there is something horribly wrong with that. And I don't understand how people can do that. So my friends, what I'm recommending in this particular case, if the woman is a better manager of money than you are, if she's more financially savvy than you are, then when you get your paycheck, give her the paycheck, unless she gives you a stipend. And then you can use that stipend to entertain your friends if you want to. That is what I recommend. You may not like that, you may not like what I'm saying, but that's a fact, And don't let people tell you that by doing that you're being less of a man, or that you're being you're being less of a man and so on. Those same persons who might be encouraging you, or who you are drinking and having fun with when you're having marital problems, or when you're having problems at home, they probably are the same ones who are talking behind your back and are laughing at you. So my friends, you have to wise up. So that is this week's video. As I said, short and spicy, nice and sweet. Before I go again, I just want to reiterate my thanks. and to encourage you to spread the message of financial literacy about this channel, and let us keep this conversation going. Until then, next time. Whoops. Whoop, whoop.